Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie, keeper of my home, and today I've enlisted my husband to help me with a little project that I have been wanting to do, but just haven't taken the time to do. So let's get right into it. So you saw a sand. This is just a board. It's a barn board, just like the board that we used on the wall that our fireplace is on. All those boards come from the barn where my husband grew up, and the table made with the same barn board. This was a little piece. I don't know how long it is. It's about that long. So I don't know, it's not quite 3 feet, so however long it is. It was just what I had in our basement that I saw, I liked, and it'll work for what I want to use it for. So let's go upstairs and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, we're back upstairs, and what I want to do is build a table riser. I believe that's what they're called. Just a table riser to go down the center of our dining room table. So currently, table's over here. Let me show you what it looks like. This is the table, and it's made of all barn board. If you're new to my channel, we built this home that we live in, and a lot of the things in it I built because it's costly to buy it. So if you can think it, you can build it. That's what my mom always told me. If you can think it, you can build it. She was very encouraging, and that's how I learned to do a lot of these things. So this is the barn wood. It's been, I've waxed it with a dark bry wax. And you can see it's all the old barn wood. And these are the legs, which are actually not really true 2x4s. They're chunky. I'm not sure what size they are because they're really, really old. All I've done is wax over them. I did not sand them down. They are exactly the patina that they came with. These are the rails to the ladder that went up into the loft of the barn where my husband grew up. Lots of memories in these, and there's obviously 4 of them. And the rest of this is all barn wood used also from that barn. So it's a lot of memory, love, and time put into building this table. So hopefully one of our kids will want it when we are no longer here. I don't know, that's my husband's and my fear that they won't want it. Okay, this is our fireplace. This is something that I designed for our home, and I had the vision in my mind. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I knew that I wanted to do it with the barn wood from the barn where my husband grew up. So you can see this is a little door here, and in that door is just shelving. You can store whatever you want in there, anything. We don't really open that and use it. We've had a TV in there before. This used to be a living room. It wasn't always a dining room. So this is a mantle up here, and it is a whopping 12 feet long. It's 16 inches deep, and it's 5 feet high. So it's a lot of fun to decorate during the holidays. It was a challenge at first because, I mean, although we had a mantle in our old farmhouse, it was nothing compared to this one. And we do absolutely love it. So for our table, I wanted to do something that matched this and the wood of the table, something that pulled it together. Not that they don't pull together, but I didn't want to have something so completely different on the table to what is already here. Okay, so here's the board that we just finished sanding. I kind of like that it stands out. I don't want it to blend in because, I mean, otherwise what's the point of having it? So these little guys are going to be the legs because this is not going to be up too awfully high off the table. I save a lot of things because you never know what you're going to use them for. So what this piece goes to is the bottom of a leg, a table leg. I just kind of wanted the table to be a little higher, so I extended it by putting this little piece on here. And this, where it touches the floor, that is where I cut off the other piece. So it would have been a little bit longer, you know, making the table taller, but it would have been too tall. So I cut them off there, making the table the perfect height. And I will say, I do know that these need to be painted, and they will be. I just have to find the paint to match it up. This table is incredibly old. Let me show it to you. You can see the square nails in it. Some of the nails are missing. But this is a table that is from the farm where I grew up. And it's pretty old. We had this table for years and years. It was in the garage, it was in the workshop, it was in the barn. It was a little bit of everywhere on our farm. And I always loved it. And I had told my mom, if you ever get rid of that table, please let me know. It was something that I've always wanted. You can see the edges of the wood, how they're, I didn't sand any of that. I left it all to what it was originally when we pulled it from when my mom pulled it from the garage, barn, wherever it was at the time. I did plane down the top because it was coated in so much paint and grease and debris. So I did take the top, you know, just these boards off, and I planed them. Then I just clear coated them. There is no stain on this. This is the natural color of all of this wood. And we use this, you can see, it's old. It's really old. It's over 100 years old. And I mean, you can't fake the beauty of this wood. So we use this as kind of a game table of sorts. Our grands like to sit here and eat snacks or whatnot. And again, there is an oil lamp because we do use those. So this is kind of our little corner here where everybody kind of gathers. We can do puzzles, games, whatever. You've probably seen it in previous videos where my husband and I have sat here and played games. So this is just a nice little cozy spot. And sitting here at these chairs, the table was a little bit too short and our knees kept bumping it. So that's why I thought, you know, I have those little table riser type things. They had the little screw on the top, and I just drilled a hole in the bottom of the legs and screwed those in, but they were way too high. So I cut them down, and that gave me those little pieces, which I could not throw away because I thought, you know, we could use those for something. So that is how this whole project was born. I have all of these little knobby things, and they're smooth. They're cut right off smooth. So thought maybe we could kind of put them so that this part goes up against the riser, and this is what it sits on. So that you'd have the little legs. Not a whole lot, you know, of height, but it's something. It's probably 1.5 inches. So let's get started building this. Okay, so I haven't really figured out which side of the board. That's going to be the biggest part of this whole project. Which side do I want up? Oh, do I want this side? This is what it's going to look like. Or do I want this side? I kind of want this side. And I think this is a side that Joe wants as well. The knot is not as prominent. Although I love it, I don't want it so open as that. We'll move this out of the way and let's see what this looks like. So what do you guys think? This side, I don't have a lot of light in here. We just don't use a lot of light. Okay, and this is what this side looks like. So what do you think? This was the side that was exposed to the outside, you know, the sun, because it had grayed and weathered. And then this was the side that was inside and protected. I don't know, what do you guys think? Side. Or this side. I think that this is the side we're gonna go with. So let's just move on. And get the feet attached. I'm going to figure out where I want my feet. I'm not putting them all the way to the end. I've only got 4, and this is a kind of a long piece. It's measured out of curiosity. This is 31 1/4 long, and it's 8 inches wide. So I'm thinking that, you know, a couple inches from the end is good. This is 3 1/4 on center. 3 1/4 on center, and 3 1/4 on center. This is some Gorilla Glue because I don't have any wood glue. I wish that I did, but I do not. And I think that if I were to use hot glue, I don't believe it would stay. I just want to get this all over this leg. I'm just going to make sure and coat the entire bottom of this. Have you ever used Gorilla Glue? You guys familiar with that? This is Gorilla Super Glue, so it's not just the Gorilla Glue. It's worked pretty good with different projects that I've used it with. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a little while, and then I'll bring you back, flip it over, and see how it looks. I'm not going to paint this board. I may or may not put like a wax coating on it. I'm not sure. I really like it in just its natural form. So I'll probably leave it that way. I'm so anxious to get it in place. So let's just wait a while, come back, and you can see what it looks like.
While that's drying, I went upstairs into my craft room. I grabbed a few paints, kind of mixed them all up and tried to color match the best that I could, and I did get these table legs painted. It's not perfect. I know that. It's not a perfect match, but it is just about there. I don't have the perfect paint, and this paint is so old. I don't know that I would ever get the perfect paint short of bringing this table in and having it color matched. It doesn't stand out like the raw wood did, so that is good enough for us. Now let's get back to the little table riser.
Okay, these have been sitting for almost 45 minutes. They feel pretty solid. So I'm gonna say it's good enough to flip over and use. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that cute? I love it. So let's get put in place. I mean, it's just as wide as this board. Should I put that on there or should I leave it off? Just kind of adds more to it, I guess. Let's just put it on there for now. The reason why I have it out is because it's so springy. I like the spring flowers. The colors of spring. What do you think? I love it. I'm so happy that it turned out just as I imagined it would. It was an easy project. It was stuff that I didn't want to throw away, so I just kind of hung on to it, and look what I got out of it. If I had to buy this, I would have paid a lot of money. Not a lot of money, but I would have paid money I didn't have to purchase it. So I'm glad that I was able to just use found objects. And I do want to thank you guys because this gave me the incentive to finish the legs on my little, I call it my little tavern table. Finish those legs, get them painted. I mean, they don't match, they're not perfect, but that's okay. Nothing in this house is perfect. And that's the way I like it. So thank you for joining me today. I create 2 new videos every week on simple living, homestead grown, and all things home. And until next time.